This is my Huawei P10. This is my Huawei P10 and I'm using it for about 3 years now and it has not failed me ever since. I have used it for general use like texting, calling, and emailing, and I'm also using it for my schoolworks like writing down notes, typing down notes, sending requirements, and even editing my short films. There are so many new phones out there, but I'm not going to upgrade anytime soon. Having a phone every generation is not practical, will cost a lot of money, and it's not even worth it. Let's get into one by one. Before I start, I noticed that most of you guys are not tropas yet. I encourage you to become one by subscribing to my channel. It will take you about 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. So come, be a tropa. I have this Huawei P10 since 2018. It is a hand-me-down phone from my brother and I did not upgrade to the P10's predecessor, which is the P20, because it's not practical. My phone is not broken, it did not die, it is not destroyed nor crushed into pieces, so I do not have any reason to upgrade aside from desire. Yes, it got a little bit of mileage, some scratches, some dents, but it is still reliable. I can still do the basic stuff, play some games, and occasionally edit photos and videos on the go. But after what I've just said, you might be wondering, what is being practical? Well, being practical means being realistic. Your evaluation of certain situations and ideas is based on real-life situation, applicability, awareness of risks, and taking risks or action with an extremely rational mindset. Or let's just put it simply, as well analyzed. So the situation here is that you want a new phone, you want the new generation phone, but you still have the current generation phone. So the questions you might want to ask yourself is your phone dead? Is it irreparable? Did the car run over it? Is it smashed into pieces? Is it gone and by any means you cannot track it? Well, then go ahead, buy a new phone. But is your phone screen cracked? It's fully functional. But your charging port is not working, a dead battery, well then, I suggest that you take it back to the store and have it fixed. Is your phone working perfectly like mine? Like me, it's working. You see my wallpaper? Is it working fine? You can still play games on it. Or even edit photos and videos like my Huawei P20 here. Keep it and do not upgrade. It's not practical. Speaking of which, being a non-practical person can result to more expenses and it can significantly affect your life. Upgrading to every generation of phone is undoubtedly expensive. Big smartphone manufacturers like Apple and Samsung costs at around 50,000 pesos to 100,000 pesos. Some might say they have a plan on their respective carriers. Our carriers here in the Philippines are Smart, Globe, and Sun Cellular, and there are third parties like ABS-CBN Mobile and TM, and they are paying let's say 2,500 pesos per month. But is it more expensive? You avail the new phone that costs around 8,000 pesos. You pay the down payment and you have now the responsibility to pay 2,500 pesos per month to complete the payment, and it is payable for 24 months. What? What the fuck? 24 months? That's 2 years. By then, there are 2 new generations of smartphones out and available in the market. And you are still paying for this generation of phone. And you're gonna buy every generation of smartphones? I think you need to get your priorities straight, tropa. Why don't you just save the money? Buy something else, invest on something, or just put it in a bank. Having money does not mean you must spend it. Lastly, it's not even worth it, be it in terms of life, in terms of money, and in terms of the phone itself. Let's look at the benchmarks of the last generation iPhone and the latest. iPhone XS Max has a score of 1109 and iPhone 11 Pro has a score of 1328. What does this mean? Realistically speaking, I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense. Too bad.
But I will do my research, I will do my part on learning about benchmarks, particularly in cell phones and in computers, and I will update you guys soon. But what I do know is that it's not worth the speed bump, unlike upgrading from an iPhone 7 Plus or even 8. Having that said, these benchmarks are just numbers to an ordinary person. It does not mean anything. They will not look at it either because all they care about is how the device performs and the usability of a phone and how great the camera is. Kidding aside, it's real. Filipinos will buy a new phone just because of the camera and how great it is. You might question, why don't they just buy a DSLR camera instead of a new phone? Or even a mirrorless camera, which is what I am shooting on. This is the Sony a6300. Perfect mirrorless camera for filming stuff like this. Well, that's a story for another video. But one thing is for sure, phone cameras can deliver the same quality just like in a DSLR camera with a small form factor. So with all of these, please do not upgrade your phone every generation. Unless you are a collector, you are a filthy rich person, or any of the reason I mentioned a while ago. So tropas, thank you for watching. Like this video if you agree with me, or if you plain like it, and dislike if you dislike the video. Comment down below what your opinions are, and please consider subscribing if you want more contents like these and for you to not miss out on the next upload.